This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Welcome to Race in Action today, as we show you some footage from the parade that was done here at the beginning of the Vintage Festival, actually the day before on the Thursday. We've come to probably the last segment we're going to be covering of this event, and we had some requests to show you a little more racing footage, on-track footage, which that's what we certainly intend to do today. We're going to cover three different groups that actually are, the three groups are favorite groups of mine, and I'm sure you're going to find the show interesting, as this vintage festival here at Lime Rock was just an outstanding event, and I hope in the future everyone could come out and see us at this event, because it was really just great. I think you're going to find the show kind of different tonight, with just showing you racing footage, and I'm sure that we're going to get some feedback, hopefully, from everybody telling us how you like it. But I just want to thank everybody for the feedback you've been sending, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. I want to remind everybody that you could give us feedback by emailing us at raceaction@aol.com, as we really would like to know how everybody likes the show and what you'd like to see. And yeah, this parade that went through three different towns, Lakeville, Salisbury, and then ended up in Falls Village, was really a great time, and everybody just enjoyed it. I think we're going to be doing a lot more of this in the future, and believe me, the Vintage Festival is alive and well. The first group we're going to be covering today will be Group 6, and it has the big bore sedans and some of the more higher powered cars. As you will see, it's certainly not a class for the faint at heart. And as this parade kind of culminates at Falls Village, I noticed there was probably more MGs than any other make there. So it looked like it was kind of a British parade more than anything, but it was, I'll tell you, just great to see everybody. I think the one thing I like the most about the Lime Rock Park Vintage Festival is you just never know what you're going to see. I mean, cars come to this event that I've never seen in my life. I mean, that's how rare some of them are. Some of them are actually one-offs that they never made two of. But believe me, all in all, it's just a great event to come and see what's out there as far as vintage cars. And someday I'm going to have to find myself a vintage car to race, because it looks like these guys are just having far too much fun. As we get ready to see this Group 6 cars in action, you could see there's some real heavy hitters in this class. Corvettes, Mustangs, sedans, Jaguars. It's really quite exciting, and probably one of my more favorite groups And believe me, some of these guys are really, really tough. I mean, look at the way they're throwing these cars in and around these corners. And there's a Cobra. It's just one outstanding group. And believe me, they certainly make some noise. And there's ground pounders in this class without a doubt. This Ford F40 is just one great example of what you'll see up at Lime Rock, and that car is just absolutely gorgeous. Another real great car in this class is the 67 Jaguar. That car really dominates in this class. This 1966 Mustang, driven by Gary Arnold, is really another good example of a car in this class. And the big bore sedans really put on a great show here. This 1967 Mustang really was giving everybody a run for their money out there, and boy, he was going sideways through every corner I was watching. That car was really impressive. Tom Cotter in this 1964 Corvette, which was a race car since it was new, really looked great out there too, and we really had a great interview with him about that car. Jaguar Roadster just look beautiful out there. They certainly are very pretty cars, and when you see them side by side with the Corvettes and the sedans, it's really something special. This 1970 Mustang really was putting on a great show out there, and when you think about it, the person that owns this car and drives it was actually from England, and it was Peter Halliford. And boy, I'll tell you, it's some trip to come out here to race a vintage car. Now there's an interesting matchup, a Cobra and a Corvette, just like the song. And yeah, that Mustang was hanging tough, that A sedan. And that car behind it looks like a kind of a rare Lotus. I'm going to have to look up that car. Beautiful array of Corvettes that come to this event, and believe me, that car was gorgeous. Another familiar face, Tony Carpenzano, with that number 7 1964 Corvette is another person that always just does great in this class and is always fielded as some outstanding car. Another nice car in this class was number 50 there, a 1969 Corvette. Boy, he's making the rounds with this car, and believe me, there's no lack for horsepower in this class. Yes, this Lotus, a 1973, looked like a very interesting car. Handling-wise, it really looked great out there today, and you know, just don't see them that often. The next group we're going to get into is Group 7, which is the sports racers. And boy, I'll tell you, you better strap in and hold on tight, because these boys really get around this place. As the green flew, they certainly didn't waste any time getting up to speed. And boy, I'll tell you, these cars look like you better hold on tight, as they really handle great. And you know, for 2000 cc, they're pretty impressive. Number 2, 1972 Chevron B23, driven by Duncan Dayton, took the lead, and boy, I'll tell you, he looked like he was on a mission. Number 1, 1972 Porsche 908/3 was right on his tail, and boy, I'll tell you, that was a real pretty car, and they really put on a show. Number 5, actually Bob Gett from Boston, Mass. in this 1971 Chevron B19. Just a pretty car, and just right at home on this Lime Rock track. As the caution came out, you could tell that Duncan Dayton and that Chevron really had things under control, and that Porsche right on his tail, number 1, they actually put on a great show. And yeah, unfortunately, number 8 had a little bit of a problem, but you know, that's part of racing. The next group of cars we're going to be taking a look at are in Group 8, and believe me, there's some very interesting cars in this group, as you will see. Some very unique sports cars, and some of my very favorite Datsun 240Zs are in this class. Just really interesting class with a lot of different makes. And it's Austin Healey, number 26. Actually a 1964, just another great example. Number 17, a 1963 Lotus 23, driven by Ray Walson. Very pretty car, and looks like he knew how to get around this Lime Rock track pretty good too. As you could see, that thing looks like it's handling like a slot car. This 1974 Porsche 911 really looked great out there. It was driven by Jim Scott. This number 93, 1972 Datsun 240Z really got my attention, as he really knew how to take it around this course, and the Datsuns are always a favorite of mine. Number 25, another 240Z in action. Boy, I'll tell you, 1970 really looked great out there. And this class was just loaded with all types of cars, as you could see. You got just about anything you want there. And yeah, that Austin Healey is going to give that Can-Am car a little problem, but didn't last long. Another 240Z driven by Jake Clapp, North Haven in 1972. I will tell you, this next group, Group 1, the pre-war cars, have become quite a favorite of mine, and the cars that were at this event were just unbelievable, as you will see. Talk about an interesting car. This 1936 Laganda, number 3, driven by Daniel Ghosh. Talk about something different. Boy, I'll tell you, that thing looked right at home out there buzzing around. Talk about something different. This absolutely gorgeous 1939 Dreyer Ford. It's like a sprint car of sorts. Really got our attention. Scott Ebert really did a great job restoring it. Just absolutely beautiful. How about that absolutely gorgeous 1935 Bentley? The gentleman who owns this car actually came here from the UK, I believe. Beautiful car. About this 1947 MGTC. Really looks just right at home and right on. And I'm sure they're having a great time with this car this weekend. It just wouldn't be right not showing you this 1925 Bugatti T35. Just an absolute gorgeous example. And I'll tell you, those cars just fascinate me. They're just so special. As we come to the conclusion of the show, I hope everybody has enjoyed it as much as we have producing it. It has been just one outstanding event here at Lime Rock Park with this vintage festival. It's just every year it gets better and better, and as you could see, the Lime Rock faithful really enjoy what's going on for the whole weekend. I hope everybody gets a chance to tune in again next week, as we're always going to have something special and new here at Racing Action today. And we also are waiting. We want you to give us that feedback when you get a chance, and hope to see you soon on Racing Action Today. This program is brought to you in part by SalCal Real Estate Connections. Thanks to the Racing Action Today crew, Dwayne Cody, Bill Majak, David Seidlinger, and Lisa Backus. And also we want to thank our home station, Nutmeg TV, for all their support and all the great things they do. We want to thank R&M Recyclers Incorporated in New Britain, Connecticut for all their support and all the great things they do back at their yard. And also we want to thank PBF, Pryor's Brothers Fabricating in Berlin, Connecticut, for all the wonderful things they do back at their shop and all the great support they give us. Actually, the golf cart we use at the track is one of their vehicles and really serves us well. Also, and last of all, we want to thank Just Results Weight Loss Center in Plainville, Connecticut, at their brand new facility. They just do an outstanding job, and if you get a chance, give them a call. I'm sure you're going to be happy with what you see there.